I'm Chris Davis. 20 years in prison with no parole. The sentence Thursday for Dixie Cheyenne White of Florence, who's 31 now, who pled guilty to aggravated assault as a habitual offender. Prosecutors say she met an 84-year-old man at the grocery store in Jackson, offered to help him work on his truck, then put fentanyl in his drink, took off with his truck, guns, phone, and credit cards. She will not be needing any of those in the near future. The truck was worth $130,000. He gave $5 for it. Mario Martinez Smiley of Fort Worth has pleaded guilty to wire fraud, buying that truck from a dealership in Jackson, meeting the salesperson halfway in Ruston, Louisiana, even posing for a pic with the truck, then using someone else's credit card to make the $5,000 down payment. Smiley to be sentenced in August. He could get 20 years. The Make America Healthy report is out, and Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith says she doesn't believe anything in it will hurt farmers. She had confronted Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. this week, saying she had been given info that the report would recommend banning some pesticides and chemicals used by farmers that have been proven safe for years. American Idol winner Jamal Roberts is scheduled to have a concert in Jackson September 19th at the Convention Center. That'll raise money for Alcorn State Athletics. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Chip Matthews Show, where politics meets the South. So grab your sweet tea, find a comfortable spot to sit back, and let's embark on this journey together.
It's Friday! And good morning on a Friday. Good morning. I am, of course, Chip Matthews. This is the Chip Matthews program on a Memorial Day weekend. Nothing going on in the news, y'all. Nothing going on. Wow. Last 2 days I've sat in court in Canton, and of course we've had a big story there, and we're going to talk about that. Then there's also the other big story where Kim Wade is dropping out of the race. Of course, his name will still be on the ballot. I would love to see what would happen if he wound up in a runoff with, what's his name? John Horn. But that's where it stands, because when you drop out, you're still on the ballot unless you drop out before the ballot. So you're still there. But that's what he sees as fit for Jackson for right now. And I'm going to respect that. Now, of course, yesterday in our court case up in Canton, Mississippi, the home of political corruption, there was testimony given by Mayor Dr. William Truly. And it was profound. No, maybe that's not the word for it. It was racist. He called me white. Is that racist? I got a kick out of that. Yeah, he called me white. And then he wanted to deny it. On a social media post, he called me a white Republican. The white Republican. He says, I didn't call him white. Oh, well, whatever. Guess what? I'm half white, half Cherokee. Okay? How about that? I might really be offended. And, you know, the funny thing about things is when people call somebody something, you know, does it really bother you that much if it doesn't have anger behind it? You know, that's what I'm getting at. We let too much anger interfere with just common sense. You got to learn to laugh at yourself just a little bit in this world, and laugh at situations when people blurt out something that they're saying, but they're not meaning as much. We live in a world, and I tell people all the time that what I see going on in the world is those of us who grew up in the 60s and the 70s. Yes, we saw a different type of political politics in the race world. But as time has changed, the people younger than us don't see black and white the same as we do. And they're not offended by being called white or being called black. They know what they are, and then the rest of this is silly. And then it's the politicians that are currently in office who work to keep us divided. Because as soon as they all come together, heck, black people may give money to Republicans. Black people may become conservative. We got to keep them separate. Yeah. The election trials that have been going on in Canton, once again, serve no purpose other than watch the end of Democrat politics in Canton at a level that is just unhealthy. We've had this occur each and every election the last 16 years. And William Truly, when he is gone, Canton will be a better place. Good morning, Jace Powell. He's running for alderman up in Gluckstadt. Good morning, Ronnie Fulcher. Good morning, Jamie Mitchell. I don't know if you're playing this week out at Acme Pizza, but he plays usually every Saturday or every other Saturday at Acme Pizza. But y'all, there's something about politics in Canton that, and it's in Benny Thompson's district, and throughout Benny Thompson's district, there is constant problems in elections. You got the little thing going on up in Rolling Fork right now. And we're talking about these are just Democrats. And see, this court case today, the last few days, has been Democrat versus Democrat. And I'm watching it. Now, of course, the election is coming up Tuesday the 3rd. So that's what, roughly 11 days. Is that right? My staff's not here to do the math for me. They're out there drinking coffee. I hear the alarm go off on the car. But I mean, what do you do? These two sides have been fighting. Now, Tim Taylor won the Democratic primary and was certified as the candidate with 42, 43 votes, 44, something like that, is what he won by. Okay. Let's see if y'all can follow this. Good morning, Irene Jackson. But if we really look at this thing the way it should be looked at, and then, of course, in the primary, in the original primary before the runoff, let's see if you can follow this. Camelia Walker won by a large margin. So Truly had something in his pocket that and this was the candidate he supported, he had something in his pocket that he could play, a card left to play to throw the whole election into chaos. He had that card. He's always, he says he doesn't know anything about politics. He doesn't know anything about adding people to the ballot, which of course he knows everything about everything. So, but he'll deny everything after he says he supports it. But the reality is, he had a card in his pocket. So when Camelia Walker won in the primary by a decent margin, to tell you the truth, she felt good about herself. She had a celebration, this, that, and the other, and there was a runoff with Tim Taylor. So in the runoff with Tim Taylor, she won on the machines by 1 vote. But once they added in the absentee ballots, she lost by 44 votes, right? So what do you do next? You file a lawsuit. You file a challenge. You do whatever you can to make it all stop. And you go, how do I get in? And then this is really, the lawyers on both sides are fighting for their political lives. They have more invested in this than than the candidates, because the candidates only care about Canton. The lawyers, they care about the money, the billions of dollars coming into Madison County and into the Canton School District and this, that, and they care about that. They care some about Canton. They're from Canton. They care some about Canton, but that's the prize. So when you look at what's going on in Canton from that perspective, it's different. And so she pulled the Chameleon with Truly's help, and he says he didn't help, but he did help. It doesn't matter what he says he did do or didn't do. They pull out the card that all these people in the outlying areas that were annexed into Canton, when they made the city of Gluckstadt, Canton got some areas that they wanted. They didn't really get the areas they should have gotten or the areas they should have gone for. But we got some space down there. Across from Germantown High School is Canton. Then there's this thin road that goes down. But the apartment complex out there with some 640 people, but we brought in 3,500 to 4,000 new residents into the city limits of Canton 3-4 years ago. Now, Truly says he doesn't understand politics in that way. He doesn't understand putting people on the roll books or anything. But when in Ms. Blackman's closing statement, she made some valid points that put me in a dilemma to where I'm probably there's a chance that they could win this, because the state statute says when a town takes in an area through annexation, they have 10, 15 days to put those people in SIMS, and they got 30 days to make sure they're all notified that they are now in the Canton district and they will be able to vote. So you go, well, Chip, everybody goes out and votes. They know where they vote. Well, no. Well, in city elections, you vote here, and county elections, you vote here, and it's an issue. And I'm not wanting a new election. I want the election to happen on June 3rd, and I want the ballot that we currently have. But I can't help telling you that I always want to be a stickler to the rules, and I don't know how to correct it right now when the Democrats that have been in charge at City Hall could have taken action to add those people legally over the last 3 years. And the sad thing is, you put the blame on the mayor. But if anybody else knew that those redistricting plans did not include those people being notified that they were in the area or letting them know, they're at fault too. So how do you fix the problem? They have a right to vote. They've been paying taxes for 3 years. They've been doing their part. They've dealt with Canton raising taxes. So how do you make it fair to everybody? And do you make it fair to the people, or do you make it fair to the politicians? Because I should not be delayed on June 3rd. I should not be delayed because the Democrats got it wrong. And then the Democratic government was involved with all of this. So I don't know what to say. But the truth of the matter is, if people don't have their right to vote according to the laws that were created by the legislature, then we have a problem. And people should be found guilty of not doing their job. Truly's been paid to be the mayor the entire time. He's known about this the entire time, and he played this card on the way out, helping Camellia Walker, and that's what he did. But it's not really about Camellia Walker. It's about Truly attempting to stay in power, because last year, 4 years ago, when he thought he had won in July, we went to court. It took him 6 more months to get in. And in that 6 months, all we proved was that I had all the legal votes and he had 0 legal votes. And then some trickery and some magic. Truly gets a seat and I don't. The state doesn't back an election because the cities own their elections. The people are whatever. They say they had spoken, but a group of people from Rankin County were the ones that sat on that case. And they agreed that I had all the legal votes, but I never got to take office. So what do you do? What was the circuit clerk's testimony? Well, I mean, that's a good question. Otha Kane checking in. In her testimony, they went to the edge of a situation that occurred in her testimony. She said that she had a ream, about 300 papers, emails that had gone back and forth, that she had requested certain information from the city in order to put everybody in the Sims. Now, understand that right now, as I sit right here, because of the time constraints of the election and when they decided to start adding people to the roll, there are people that are currently still not added to the roll. And that's not right. It's not right. And then also in the testimony, which they led up to it, and I can't believe they didn't ask the question, there were ballots found in one of the ballot boxes that were from the judges' races, Jim Kitchen versus Jennifer Branning. That stuff should have been secure by the county clerk. That wasn't a city thing. That's a county thing. Those you have to keep ballots for two election cycles, and they should be locked up somewhere. How did those ballots, and there needs to be investigation, get out of those boxes where they were sealed and put up and into these boxes that were used in our election? Good morning, Dawn McKenzie, Irene. I mean, and what's the fair thing to do now? Do we get fair to the people? I mean, the people are the one that vote, or at least some of y'all, 80% of y'all don't vote. So what do we do? What do we do? Because the right thing is to go by the statute if you're the people. The other thing is the people have spoken and said that Tim Taylor is the winner, but not all the people got to speak. So what's the dilemma? What is this judge going to do? I mean, in the past, he ruled on the case where I was supposed to take office, and I didn't get to take office. And that's just the facts. So if you really look at the facts and what's going on in Canton, there is no good answer. But there is one thing that it does show. Canton has been without good leadership for 30 or 40 years. That's what it does show. And we have to change, cut the head off at the top and get it fixed. I'm tired of the elections going this way, and we've got to figure a way around this. We got to figure out a way to come together, because the black and white issues of the 60s and 70s are gone. The current issue is the people from the 60s and 70s that made a move in Canton and got control of the city and started doing the things that you should do. They served their purpose. It served its purpose. But the youth of today doesn't see black and white the same. You see them, they go out on trips together. They go to the bowling alley. They come to eat pizza at my restaurant, this, that, and the other. And everybody looks happy. Everybody looks together. The only people that aren't together are all us old folks from the 60s and the 70s who look at it and go, I just don't know what to think of the youth today. Well, let's start thinking a little bit better. And let's clean up this corruption in this Canton election. I'd love to hear what y'all think. Give me a call, 601-879-0002. But, this stuff's got to stop. This has happened in Canton too many times. And I'm going to be on Otha Kane's show, and I hope we have a deep dive into this, race relation and politics. That Canton, y'all are forgetting all this is going on, and the city government has not addressed the murders in Canton. People are dying in Canton. People are showing up and just shooting drive-bys, this, that, and the other. And nobody seems to care. They don't have their eye on the ball. They only care about, am I going to be in a position to make as much money as I can when the billions of dollars come to our part of the world? And $1 billion is a lot of money, y'all. It's coming to Madison County, and it's going to be big enough to rebuild North. I believe West Jackson will explode. I believe that. Coming all West Jackson down 49, all the way to Flora, all of that, that's going to explode because the Canton School District is an issue that we need to handle. You know, you have other things that need to be handled. Bloodstadt's running out of room. They only annex so much space. You know, Madison is landlocked in one area trying to get out. Ridgeland, he's got enough problems up there trying to cheat the people after they voted down his park proposal and then putting it back on the ballot to where they can vote again in an election that nobody's going to show up in Ridgeland to vote because there's not a lot of things on the ballot. And that was what his plan. That's the plan of the mayor, is to manipulate the law. And it's just wrong. It's wrong. I am getting sick and tired of politics. And then I don't know what to think on the Kim Wade situation. Kim Wade has dropped out of the race, put his words behind the priest. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I know more people that know who Kim Wade is than more people that know who the priest is. But of course, I'm from Canton, and I'm not in that race. And I'm a radio junkie. But I think 20 years on the radio, Kim Wade might be surprised at how many votes he'd get. But that's that. Kim, that's what Kim wants to do. So I respect that. But his name is still going to be on the ballot. And not a lot of people are going to know. They're going to see his name and say he didn't drop out because his name will be on the ballot. And what if he winds up in a runoff? What's the situation then? Okay, we got to save something. We got to pay something. So let's pay the bills and we'll get back and we'll talk some more right here this morning on WYAB. WYAB.
1039 WYAB.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drives to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at PopsAutoSalesLLC.com and get pre-approved for a zero-down payment with approved credit, with warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design insurance plans that protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance ranked #1 for auto insurance in the Forbes 2024 World's Best Insurance Companies survey.
Ask Jamie Creel about Shelter's auto, home, and life options.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Looking to boost productivity and morale in the office? Let Huey Magoo's bring a delicious stress-free lunch right to your workplace. Perfect for team meetings, client presentations, or just a midday pick-me-up. Hand-breaded and grilled tenders, sandwiches, and salads. They make it easy. Just pick your favorites, and they'll deliver everything right to your office. On time, no fuss, no hassle. Whether it's a working lunch, team celebration, or just because, let Huey Magoo's handle the meal, and you handle the business. Huey Magoo's. Make someone smile today.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants Duct Cleaning Service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call Peoplease. Let Peoplease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. Peoplease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust Peoplease to simplify their employee administration. Visit peoplease.com. That's peoplease.com to learn more.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show.
Yes, it's Chip Matthews on a Friday morning. How are y'all doing? Wake up, get out of bed. I'm looking at what Oath is saying online. Oath of Kane. He's a local political podcaster, and I get along with him. How about that? I get along. I don't know if he likes me or not, but anyway, I get along with him. I'll be on his show Tuesday night. That ought to be interesting. But he's sitting here. He's got a great thing. There's no path to victory for Kim, and I understand that. Once you put your name on the ballot, though, you're running, and that's that. And his name will be on the ballot. So, and he's going to get votes because not everybody listens to people when they say they're in or out. But then he's talking about the Canton election. There isn't an opportunity for a runoff in a general election, is there? I agree. There's not. There's not a way to do this. And a special election can only be ordered after the general election. And the general election, the candidates that are on the ballots as the independent and as the Republican, their path to get on the their rights should be worth something. I'm sure if it was a Democrat that couldn't get on the ballot because the Republicans couldn't decide who was supposed to be on the ballot, they'd say, okay, we're going to go without it. But you had the third factor there of how many people did not get to vote and be notified by statute. By statute. There's an argument for everybody here. And Judge Will has to pay. Do you go with the will of the people? Because the people can't vote and did not know that they were in. Because here's a prime example for you people to think about. Now, they didn't use this example, and I think at times that I could argue both sides of this case for either side. I could argue it and win on either side. But take, for example, to those people that know, when Canton took a plug of Canton out of the city in the middle by the chicken plant in order to bring workers in to work at the chicken plant who were illegals, that was called the county for a while, right there at that trailer park. That whole trailer park was in the middle of Canton and not technically in Canton. So when police were called, the city of Canton didn't respond, the county responded. And that went on for years and years and years and years. So if you told those people in that area that now they're in the city, those people would still probably argue and say, no, we're in the county. And it would go back and forth until you sent them a letter to notify them that they were in the city now. Because for years they were in the city, then they took it out to where they could hire Hispanic workers and all that to come into the area and have a place to live. And then they put it back into the city after the annexation and Gluckstadt becoming a city. They put it back in, but they didn't tell anybody they were back. And if for years you'd been told that you were not in the city limits every time you called 911, that you were in the county, what do you think? So that is the part of this that doesn't make it between the politicians, but it makes it between the current leadership in Canton and the people. So you have two cases going on here. And I wish that they had realized what the two cases were. Like Otha and I talked on the first day, and they had danced around, and I said, these are the issues. These are the things that need to come out. And then finally they started playing those cards, but they didn't finish playing the cards. But then when Ms. Blackman started reading off the state statutes, okay. And that's what I always preach on. I always preach to y'all that nobody in any election follows the rules. There was testimony that no election is ever right. No election is ever fair. And that's in all over the state, y'all. There's not mistakes in every election. But the problem is the system on getting it right starts at the legislative level, and then it's handed off to Michael Watson. And then at Michael Watson's office, we fail to get the people trained properly. We fail in giving a rat's ass about it, basically, to fix the problem. We fail at the state level, making sure that we know what's going on. And then on election commissioners, y'all, these people that are elected to be election commissioners are not treated the same as state and county politicians. They don't get any PERS. They get 20 hours a week, I believe, is all they're allowed to work. They get paid. They take all the brunt for all these problems and try to enforce the law. They have to go back and tell all these people, have to train all these people that come in. They pay them all $200 to work the polls, and half of them that work the polls, maybe more, don't even know what they're doing. And then they reschedule them again because it's so hard to find people to do the jobs. We got to figure out a better way. We got to figure out a way to fix everything. I'm running a little behind. We're going to catch up. Let me get another commercial break in here on WYAB. I am Chip Matthews, the Chip Matthews Show. Remember, come to Acme Pizza tonight or tomorrow night. We'll talk about all this. Come eat a pizza. Come listen to some music. And let's wait on Judge Wheel's opinion. Because unfortunately, he's got a heavier burden than he realizes when he starts to look at this. I'll be back in just a second, right here on WYAB. He starts to look at this. I'll be back in just a second, right here on WYAB.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness, and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
CBS News Brief. The man accused of shooting and killing 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington is now facing murder charges. Yaron Lashinsky was planning to propose to Sarah Milgram next week. Her father, Robert.
She was a peace builder. She has always, since college, she's had a very strong feeling for Israel, and she's also had a very strong desire to figure out and help to broker a peace.
At least 3 of 6 people on board a small plane that crashed in a San Diego neighborhood yesterday are confirmed dead. CBS's Carter Evans.
It looks like people are going to be out of their homes for some time here. Right now, this scene is being preserved by the police department and the FAA for the NTSB to come and complete its investigation.
A search is on in Ohio for 4 inmates who escaped from prison near Columbus last night. WBNS TV's Kara Lake.
This is a minimum security facility. And when it comes to this facility, this is a prison diversion program for adult male offenders.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
I'm here with Lee Bounds of New American Funding. Lee, why is Rita Jensen, Remax Connection, your go-to real estate agent?
I highly recommend Rita because she's honest. She just tells it like it is. She has integrity, and I just love referring clients to her because I know when I turn them loose, she is going to take care of them from the start. You'll always be in good hands with her, from the application to the keys, I like to say.
RitaJensen.net. Rita, JENSEN.net.
Hey, this is John with MES. That's Mississippi Energy Services. We sell, service, and install all makes and models of home and business generators. One thing that we do different than a lot of other companies is we do all the work ourselves. We don't use subcontractors. We go from the original estimate, the design, to the final product. That way we can control the quality of the job from the beginning to the end. We are online at msenergy.us.
Pet emergencies don't wait, so why should you? At Urge Vet Emergency Vets of Madison, we offer low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Our hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Our phone number is 601-790-1918 and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate.
Get the jump on the season at the #1 stop for all your boating and custom water sports needs, Smith Marine. Crest pontoons are here. Come experience luxury and style with a 90-day, no payment, no interest financing option with approved credit, plus a 1-year Seato membership, free cover, free Bimini top, and free inflatable tube. And these crests are pre-rigged with Suzuki motors and Suzuki's industry best warranty. Smith Marine also buys quality pre-owned boats with consignments and trade-ins on the rents in Ridgeland and at smithmarinesales.com.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
And we're back here on a Friday morning here on the Chip Matthews program. Good morning, Roderick Cheeks, as you check in. I'll see you, Jolene Michael. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Let's talk about this for just a second, a little bit more. I had a text here from somebody talking about the Jackson race. And they said DeBriest got into the race because all of the bad black preachers are backing him. And it says crud up. I don't know what that means. I don't know if she means corrupt or crud up. But then it says Greg Divinity, etc. If DePriest doesn't do what preachers say, they will put white guilt on him. And we're back to where we are now. And they say that Kim sold us out. That's what that says. And, that's going to be a controversy and a thing that happens all day today. And I hate it for Kim, but, you make the news when you make the news. And that's that. You got to defend it, and you've got to understand it. People, I think you had stronger support than you realize. But there may be no path to victory. But, you can't, it hurts to let the people down. And it's like, friends, everybody looks at me and goes, Chip, you run over and over and over again. And what a lot of you don't understand is I just want the rules followed. I want the rules followed. So regardless of me winning or losing in the last 2 or 3 elections, I've exposed all the problems. I mean, we got 2 aldermen currently in Canton who are waiting to testify in the Rudy Warnock case, which will that ever happen? But it's coming up in June. And Mike Espy has to testify in it. But let's remember this, as we've learned in the Jackson case, you had to buy 4 votes in order to get your way. And 2 have admitted to buying votes. Are there 2 more sitting on that council? Or worse sitting on that council? We've had some changing out of people since that event. But I mean, there's 2 more. There's more corruption than you can imagine. And it's all got to be cleaned up. And in the election cycle, if someone would just follow the rules that are written out, that the legislator came up with, and I'm not saying the legislator is smart enough to run an election. I promise you I'm not saying that. They can't even run a budget. They can't even get a budget in 90 days when it's got to be done. They can't get a budget. And it took to get their tax bill through. It took 5 Democrats to help them. So you know, everybody down there at the Capitol must be rhinos because the Republicans or the conservative Republicans weren't voting for the package. And what did they do? What did they really do? They just moved our taxes around and created some more taxes and went home and didn't do what they were supposed to do, the budget. Why don't you give us back that money? Cost us $100,000 a day for them to go down there for the special session. And right now, between then and now, they're going to come in to do that special session, and they're going to say, we got to do the budget, and we need more money to do the budget. So we're going to go ahead and they'll put in the sports betting bill. Tate will put that in there for them to vote on that. And they'll give them $22 million more to put into somewhere and give it to PERS because they're all worried about their retirement. Ain't worried about us people. And that's what I'm getting back to the people of Canton. When you go back and think about the people that were disenfranchised, they were. It's sad to say that they're disenfranchised, and because the city has not followed the law in putting people on the ballot and putting people not on the ballot, but in the situation of being able to vote. They did not do their job, and they got paid for it. Politicians are so scared to do what they want, and Truly does whatever he wants. He's always done whatever he wants. Period. Nobody can ever say any different. He's an expert on every subject in the world, and he'll say he did it, and then he didn't do it, and it's the longest statement you ever saw. And nothing against Camelia Walker, but Truly did back her. And when she got up to say simple yes no answers yesterday, we were getting Truly answers. We were getting these long answers of you didn't define whether like is like and love is love and this, that, and the other. You know, that she had a problem with one of her kinfolks saying that they didn't know each other. And they said, no, that's not what we said. We were talking about in the abstract world of knowing each other. We don't really know each other. It's like me saying, I don't really know my mama because I don't know what my mama does. I don't know everything about her. You know, that is just, you know, when you start splitting hairs, it's just not worth it. Politician, you know, maybe it was better back in the day when a politician had to not have baggage. You know, back a long time ago, if you got caught with your pants down, basically, your political career was over. Now it's a badge of honor. And then you got those people at Congress that have, Michael Guest is on that ethics committee where they try to sweep everything under the rug so that the public never knows what they got in trouble for. What world do we live in? What world do we live in to where you can't have a simple election and decide who should run your community? And that's why I look at all you people that don't get on the ballot and run, that would be good people to run cities. And you look at your HOAs, a lot of your HOA presidents, everybody hates them because they get power hungry and they get greedy and they want to do this and they want to say, I don't like your pot plant, so I'm going to say your pot plant violates the HOA laws. Y'all, it's Memorial Day weekend. The blood that was spilt to make this a great nation, to where we can have this conversation of freedom and everything. It was red, white, and blue. It was all races, black, white, red and yellow, black and white. I believe that's the way the song goes. My mama used to play it all the time in church. Jesus loved little children, red, yellow, black, and white. So we all got to live here. We all got to get along. We all got to be Americans. We all got to move forward. And the kids are back to the kids. They play together red, yellow, black, and white. Us adults keep getting it wrong. And I mean, I look at myself as the youth movement in Canton, and I'm 63 years old, y'all. I can't wait till some new blood gets involved, and let all us old people go home and just sit on the front porch and be grumpy old men and rock in a rocking chair, because that's where we deserve to be. We deserve to be there, because we can't get it right. We keep messing it up. We have to fix the problem, and a lot of our problems was when we were brought up different ways. And that's the fact. Okay, we'll be back to wrap this show up in just a second right here on WYAB. Remember, absentee voting is going on right now in Canton and in Jackson and everywhere. So get out and vote if you're going to be out of place on election day. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. And even in Canton, get out and vote. They may call for a new election and throw your vote away. But that's also because Canton didn't allow 4,000 new residents to even have an opportunity to vote. And you'll say, yes, they voted on affidavit ballots. But how did everybody know that they had been moved into the city limits? And you'll say, well, there was in the news, this, that, and the other. Y'all, people don't watch the news anymore. The news is all lies. Why would you believe that? Y'all, we have screwed up our world somewhere in the last 10 years. After we were trying to fix all the screw-ups from the 60s and the 70s and even back to the 1800s. But we keep fixing it. We're America. We keep getting better. We're trying to get it right. But, the mess we could make. It's a big, giant bowl of spaghetti, and you're trying to find the end of it. We'll be right back right here on the Chip Matthews Show, right here on WYAB. Right here on the Chip Matthews Show. Right here on
1039 WYAB.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Would you like a free ice cream? Head on over to Bumpers Drive-In on Highway 49 in Flora. If you're craving a juicy made-to-order burger and crispy golden fries, if you want to taste the best hand-breaded chicken tenders you've ever had, if you want a hand-mixed milkshake or a whirl with Nutter Butters, Oreos, then bump on into Bumpers Drive-In in Flora. Exclusively at the Flora location. Mention you heard them on WYAB and you'll receive a free frosty ice cream with your order.
The best investment on earth is earth. This is real estate agent Shane Saxton. As I like to say, the government can print more money, but they can't print more land. In the past 2 years, I've sold over $100 million in real estate. Call me today to get your land and home sold, because Saxton Sales isn't just a slogan. It's backed up by hundreds of satisfied clients just like you.
Find one of Mississippi's top real estate agent, Shane Saxton, on Facebook or call Shane at 601-540-5040. Hopper Property, 601-724-1435.
When you want your pine trees to grow a little happier and a lot healthier, call on Holcomb Aerial Service. When your crops need dusting, think Holcomb Aerial Service. From the farm to your own pine forest, Holcomb Aerial Service will stimulate growth, eradicate pests, and preserve the value of your crops. Call Holcomb Aerial Service at 601-668-6200. That's 601-668-6200.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. And now through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months on select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
If
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
When you choose a natural diamond, you're choosing more than just a truly precious gemstone.
You're choosing a symbol of forever, formed deep within the earth over billions of years, not in a factory in China. I'm John.
And I'm Corey Ravenstein. At Juniker Jewelry Company, we understand the importance of legacy. We've been Mississippi's direct diamond importer for over 4 generations.
That's why we offer only natural diamonds, timeless treasures that become family heirlooms, passed down from generation to generation.
Every Juniker's natural diamond is hand-selected for its enduring beauty and brilliance, ensuring that your story lives on in something truly exceptional.
Come shop the largest selection of gorgeous natural diamonds in the state. Every shape, size, and price range, all at the guaranteed best price in Mississippi.
From the Delta to the coast, more families trust Juniker's than any other jeweler.
Celebrate your love.
Honor your legacy.
Naturally. At Juniker's.
Juniker Jewelry Company, 1485 Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, and JunikerJewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
Yes, it is Chip Matthews on your radio on a Friday morning. And it's Memorial Day weekend. Y'all get out and enjoy some of it. I hear it's going to rain a little bit. But as I sit here and talk to you today, I want to address Mayor Truly, who has caused all the problems in Canton regarding this election cycle by not doing his job. I mean, it is a blatant fact. And then to make the comment that I was a white Republican. It's probably killed my entire campaign. It's probably made my campaign completely unwinnable. No path to win right now because he's exposed the fact that I am white. Holy cow. Then he exposed the fact that I was Republican. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Why did he have to bring race into it? Why can't it be Republicans versus Democrats? Why has it got to be race? Y'all, whether I'm white or whether I'm black, or whether the next mayor in Canton is white or black, the next mayor's just got to do the right thing. Go by the law. Do it right. Try to clean up the books. Clean up Jackson. You got to clean up the books. You got to go in there and make sure the receipts match each other. You got to go through and make sure everybody is represented. You got to make sure that when you hire somebody to repave a road, that you go out there and have someone who inspects it and measures it. Why when you get a road paved by a company that's licensed and bonded and it's not working right, you don't go against the bond because you paid people off? Yeah, Clay McPherson has just chimed in. I'm white. Yeah, he never knew that. Clay's a law enforcement guy. He also was a radio DJ. He was a country DJ with us back in the day at WCCL, the country club. I think that's where you were. It was at KY 107, the easy to listen to country station. But anyway, that's going to do it for me on this Memorial Day. Of course, I will be back to do a live show on Monday. I don't believe in not doing shows. I love being live. I love live radio. Jameson Haygood show will be on at 10. Clay will be on at 7. I'm sure he'll be locked and loaded for the weekend. People, go out and vote. It's your right. You got to do it. And he worked at KY. Yeah. Yeah, that's the craziest station, everything. KY 107 became Z106. I was working there, and we brought in Z106 from Vicksburg to Jackson, and I was told it wouldn't work. And 38 years later, it's still working. Oh, yeah. And I will do the same for Canton. If I get into office, I will fix everything, and I will be watching both directions. We'll have more entertainment, more things going on the square. The square will be full. It'll look like Oxford. It'll feel like Oxford. It will be vibrant and full of energy instead of dead. And all that when Truly leaves town, which, of course, after being there all these years, he's never bought a home. You'd think a guy that was a doctor and a career politician would have at least bought a house in Canton at some point. He was buying a house last year in Gluckstadt. We got, I know people that took pictures, kept up with it. Mayor should live in the town that he's running in, but he testified that he didn't know where he lived. He slept wherever his wife told him. And I'm sure, because Washi's tough. But anyway, I will see y'all back Monday. Maybe we'll know who's going to be running the election. Maybe not. Clay Edwards is next on WYAB.